It's interesting how almost everyone is enjoying the cold winter and making winter countdowns, while I am boiling to death because of how hot the southern hemisphere is. Well, cue the hypocritical Christmas intro! Oh boy, isn't this an unoriginal topic? But I simply don't care, because 2013 was an amazing gaming year for me. Not only because I tried out lots of new game series, but also because I finally got 2 brand new gaming systems. Honestly, there is a lot I wanna talk about on this video. So, in the classic spirit of the holiday season, I bring you this special countdown for both Christmas, or whatever holiday you celebrate, and New Year, where I will list down the best games I played on 2013. It doesn't mean that the game had to be released this year, it's just that I played for the first time during it. So let's not lose any more time, grab your Christmas present and let's enjoy my newest countdown. The number 10 spot is kind of a stretch, since I played the first 2 games in this series on 2012, but I played and beaten this one in January, so Jak 3 is on the list, and it was definitely my favorite out of the 3. Granted, the biggest change in the gameplay was in the second one, seeing as this was a dark platformer slash shooter rather than a generic collectathon platformer like the first one. However, I appreciate the third one a little bit more because of the minor improvements that perfected this formula. The story was now easier to understand, but at the same time it was darker and more interesting. The graphics and music were outstanding, the controls were more fluid and easy to master, the bosses were epic, you could use both light and dark eco power-ups, and the weapons could be upgraded in favor of a more solid gameplay. Heck, they even fixed the awful checkpoint placement from Jak 2! All of these improvements made up for possibly one of the most entertaining platforming experiences the PlayStation 2 had to offer, and I enjoyed every minute of it. Right now, Naughty Dog is doing very well with Uncharted and The Last of Us, but after playing this game, I really hope they come back to the Jak series someday in the near future. I wanted to give the Sonic series a shot for a good time. Okay, yeah, the internet and its fanbase never made it easier for me, but I tried out some of the portable titles last year, like the Sonic Advance and Sonic Rush games. Truth be told, I really liked them, so I felt it was time to pick up one of the console Sonic games, and I decided to begin with the best game in the series according to most fans, Sonic Unleashed. Please keep in mind, I played only the PS2 version, and I am aware the PS3 version is possibly a lot better, but that didn't keep me from having a lot of fun with this game. As many people know, Sonic Unleashed is divided in 2 sections, the day stages, which play like every Sonic game, and the night stages, which are a beat 'em up with Sonic the Hedgehog. Despite all of the negativity this mechanic got, I personally think it really worked out in order to offer a fresh and fun experience. Granted, there were way too many night stages for my taste, but that's just a minor complaint. The day stages are just amazing. You can feel the speed and the adrenaline of Sonic in your hands in some really fun and exciting levels. During the night, however, you can enjoy a satisfying combat system with combos and amazing boss battles. The music was as good as in every Sonic game, and the story was very original and unique from the rest of the franchise. This was a great way to start off with this controversial series, and I am sure I will enjoy the PS3 version someday as well. After this, I went and played Sonic Heroes, which is also a really fun game, but I will not play through it 4 different times! Sorry, but I just can't! So yeah, Unleashed was more appropriate for this list. Let me give you a tip. Play video games with your friends every once in a while. And no, I don't mean co-op or multiplayer modes, no. I mean sitting down with a couple of good friends and take turns in a single player adventure. If you like doing this, you can seriously have a lot of fun. Heck, I did it with Resident Evil 4 and now this horror game holds a spot in my heart. Yes, maybe playing it with friends could take away some of the horror elements, maybe, but it didn't keep us from having tons of fun. I never played a Resident Evil game before, and I don't think I will ever play another one, but I still really enjoyed Resi 4, with its dark storytelling, moments and enemies full of horror, and incredible combat. I just don't want to repeat myself too much, that's why I did a full review on Resident Evil 4. It got a 9 out of 10, that should be a good sign. Overall, this was a great experience from a game series in which I was never interested, especially since I played with my friends. And hey, we managed to survive this!
Leon!
Shut up!
And if you thought getting into Sonic the Hedgehog was not easy, don't even get me started on Devil May Cry. With some good games, some bad games, a new reboot that changed everything, and yes, one of the most annoying fanbases on the internet. But I still wanted to play some of this series, which was very appealing to me, with its great protagonist, interesting mythology, and amazing hack-and-slash gameplay. I wanted to begin with the first game in the franchise, but I could only find DMC3 on my local game store, so I started out with that one. And I never regretted it, because this is one of the best action games that I ever played. First of all, you should remember that Devil May Cry 3 is a prequel to every other game in the series, so it was easy for me to understand the plot, and this plot is just amazing. Dante has to find and defeat his twin brother Virgil, who wants to unleash demons in the human world. With some great characters and a few plot twists, I won't talk too much about the plot because I want you to experience it yourself. But I will be honest here, what made me fall in love with this game was the gameplay. The combat system is fast, fluid and satisfying. You can use different styles, guns and my personal favorite, demonic weapons. And these are just a joy to use and they are very good designed. I mean, look at them! A pair of wind and fire swords, an electric guitar that shoots electricity and bats. Yeah, the word badass is all over the place on this game. And, of course, as you would expect, the boss fights are epic and challenging. In fact, this must be one of the hardest games I've ever played, it seriously destroyed me. But it was all in good fun. After I was done with Devil May Cry 3, I finally got to try out the first one. And while it's also a very good game, it's just not as good as its prequel. Even if you are not a DMC fan, I highly recommend this title. And yeah, let's end this segment with this interesting and infamous clip from Devil May Cry 1.
I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light!
As many of you probably guessed, Psychonauts is on the list, at number 6 to be specific. This game is just full of creativity and originality that I just can't believe it. I am not a big fan of Tim Schafer, but just one game was enough to make me fall in love with his work. And yeah, while the idea that a sequel of Psychonauts may never exist breaks my heart, I still appreciate this game to death. Psychonauts follows the story of Rasputin, a circus boy with psychic powers who escaped home and infiltrates the Psychonauts camp for psychic kids. And I must admit, Rasputin is one of the best protagonists ever. However, strange things start to happen and it's up to Raz and his powers to save the day. The main objective of this game is to travel around the minds of different people in order to find information or manipulate them. The level design is just perfect, the platforming is very fun, and the ways you have to use Rasputin's powers is incredibly clever. And I also have to give major credit to the scripting of this game, which made me laugh on every scene. Overall, Psychonauts is just a fresh experience and you must give it a chance someday. And now, let's wait until its sequel is announced.
2,000 years later.
Every countdown maker has that game series which he will never shut up about. And in my case, this is Kingdom Hearts. And how can you blame me? This is a fantastic series with amazing ideas and great games. Okay, well, most of them, but my point still stands. This year I bought a brand new Nintendo 3DS and I got 2 games with it. The second one was Kingdom Hearts 3D Dream Drop Distance. This has to be one of the most solid entries in the KH series. The story takes place after Kingdom Hearts 2 and Recoded. Master Xehanort is about to return, so Sora and Rico must gain the title of Keyblade Masters. In order to achieve this, they must go into the sleeping worlds and seal 7 sleeping keyholes. The story was interesting, yeah, but I can't deny that it can get very confusing, even for a big KH fan like me. It's funny, but Square Enix had the great idea of combining time travel with dreams inside dreams like Inception. That's right, the 2 most confusing storytelling methods together that can give you a big headache. But despite that, the rest of the game is just magical. You can visit some unique Disney worlds from movies like The Hunchback from Notre Dame, Tron Legacy, and Pinocchio. Heck, even the guys from The World Ends With You have an important place in this game. The level design is just the best in the franchise, possibly because you can travel around with flow motion, a badass new gameplay mechanic that Sora and Riku have that allows them to use the environment to both fight and move around. The combat system uses the commands introduced in Birth by Sleep, so everything is fast and frenetic, but with a little bit of strategy. And instead of having Donald as Goofy as your party member, you have to take care of the Dream Eaters, these colorful creatures similar to Pokémon, and they are just awesome. Overall, Kingdom Hearts 3D is a welcome new entry in the series, with amazing yet confusing storytelling, amazing combat, great visuals, and epic Disney worlds. Maybe it could be higher, yes, but I knew everything about this game before I played it, because I watched entire playthroughs on YouTube, so there were no surprises for me when I finally got my hands on it. Yeah, this one is my fault. I freaking love Hideo Kojima! No, not only because he created one of the best video game series in history, but also because he decided to make a legacy collection with every game in the franchise. Well, except for Portable Ops. I will never understand why he skipped that one, but still, he also made it for the PS3 just at the same time I bought the exact same console. That was just epic! Thank you, Mr. Kojima! No, I won't put the Legacy Collection on here. That would be like cheating. Also, there is just one game in this collection that I beaten in 2013. The original Metal Gear Solid for the PlayStation 1. Whoa, it really feels good to finally say that. I play Metal Gear Solid, I've been wanting to do so for a long time, and it didn't disappoint. The first game in the Solid series from the Metal Gear franchise. This was an amazing game that brought up a lot of new innovations that were revolutionary for the industry. Okay, yeah, I must admit that I don't feel this game has aged very well, but I still enjoyed this amazing adventure. You play as Solid Snake, back in action from the events of Metal Gear 2. You will have to infiltrate the nuclear base in Shadow Moses Island in order to stop the terrorist group Foxhound from launching a nuclear weapon, the Metal Gear Rex. And I will stop right there with the story. Trust me, it's better if you play it by yourself, since it's full of twists and unexpected situations. The characters are likable, especially the protagonist, and the script makes it feel like you're watching a movie, besides the incredibly long cutscenes. You can really tell that the basic stealth gameplay from the rest of the series came from this title. It's strategic, it's immersive, and it's full of twists in order to keep it fresh. Heck, even the boss fights are amazing for a PS1 game, and most of them I brought to you by the Foxhound members. All of them have interesting traits and personalities that make them a joy to fight and defeat. Overall, Metal Gear Solid left me without words. It's an epic game that delivered with all the hype it had. It truly demonstrated that Hideo Kojima is a god amongst people. Oh boy, I can already listen to all the Metal Gear fans complaining with anger just because Metal Gear Rising is higher than the original Metal Gear Solid. I am sorry, but I normally prefer action games over other genres. And besides that, comparing these two games would be like comparing Super Mario with Mario Kart. Same franchise, different types of game. So yeah, I hope you understand my reasons, because Metal Gear Rising didn't blow my mind, no. It used Blade Mode, slashed its way into my brain, and used Sandatsu in such a powerful way that it took my head off! Seriously, this has to be one of the most epic, blood-boiling, and overall incredible action games that I ever played. The action is fluid and fills you with adrenaline. Blade Mode keeps it fresh and unique from other hack-and-slash games. The story may not be as good as other Metal Gear games, but still is good enough to keep you interested. The music is just outstanding, and you will keep listening to it many times after you beat the game. And the boss fights, oh my god, the boss battles are just some of the best in video game history. But the best thing about Metal Gear Rising is that I can see a lot of room for improvement. Yeah, maybe it was not the perfect game, but there is a lot of things that Platinum Games and Kojima Productions can improve, and other stuff that they can add in order to make it a lot better. Indeed, I hope Metal Gear Rising becomes its own series in the Metal Gear franchise, like many other spin-offs did with their own franchises. Currently, I am playing Peace Walker, and the epicness that is Metal Gear Solid 4 is up next, so I have a lot of Metal Gear to enjoy in the next month. Of course, this is not a surprise, since I recently made a full review on this game just to talk about how innovative and overall entertaining it really is. I literally bought a 3DS just for Pokémon X and Y, and it didn't disappoint. You can really tell that Game Freak worked really hard just so this game was unique and fresh for Pokémon players. The 3D environments, the music, the fairy type, the amazing Mega Evolutions! Everything in this game makes it the definitive Pokémon experience. The new inclusions are so enjoyable that I am willing to forgive the fact that they only included 69 new Pokémon. Something that makes me as angry as the bad credit for the nostalgia critic. So yes, Pokémon X and Y is one of the best games I played in 2013. Maybe it didn't surpass Pokémon Black and White and its sequel as my favorite Pokémon game, but I still love the 6th generation of Pokémon. Some of you may be surprised by the fact that there is one game that I played on this year and I enjoyed it more than X and Y. So let's take a look at the number 1 spot to find out. I guess there is nothing else to say except for, you did it again, Game Freak! The number 1 spot is actually a tie between two very similar games from the same series. In fact, they are the only game in the series. Ladies and gentlemen, No More Heroes 1 and 2. Yes, the best games I played in 2013 are the violent, raunchy and extremely entertaining No More Heroes games for the Nintendo. But Obsidious fan, I thought those games were only for the Nintendo Wii, and you never owned a Wii. Did you lie to us? Where did you get a Wii? How is Stelios going to make fun of you now? Okay, it's time to confess. This is a little secret that I've been hiding from you for a good time. A good friend of mine, which I will refer to as Andy, let me borrow his Nintendo Wii for a couple of months, so I could play some games like No More Heroes or The Legend of Zelda titles for that console. So yeah, I will always be grateful to my friend Andy. Thanks a lot, buddy. To be honest, if you ask me which game I wanted to play the most months ago, I would probably have answered No More Heroes 1 and 2. Everything on these games looked very appealing to me, and I had to try them out. And now that I did, I must admit it reached with all of my expectations. To start off, you play as Travis Touchdown, one of the best video game protagonists. He's badass, but he's also relatable. He doesn't change too much, but his character still develops. He's funny, but he can be serious at times. Put this amazing character in one of the most creative and interesting stories ever, and you got yourself a recipe for perfection. In both games, you will have to go through a tournament of assassins in order to reach the #1 spot, because of different reasons in each title, but it doesn't change the fact that you will have tons of fun defeating all the assassins. Each one of them has amazing personalities, creative concepts, epic weapons, and overall some incredible boss fights full of adrenaline. And yes, I will not mention some of the most irritating assassins. What makes No More Heroes so awesome, well, besides from the great story and amazing bosses, has to be the control. Suda51 managed to find a good use of the Wii's motion controls, especially when you use Travis's beam katana. It feels natural and just so satisfying that I can't put it into words. And I could go on and on for hours to tell you why I love No More Heroes 1 and 2 so much. Like the great twists in the plot and the gameplay, the badass power-ups, the humor, the emotional moments, the art style, the amazing music, the open world in the first one, the retro style in the sequel, and god, I love these games. There is just so much good stuff to talk about that I don't want to get you bored. Because of many reasons, the No More Heroes games earn a spot in my heart that a few games managed to reach. It has a lot of things that I really like, and it made them the best games I played in 2013. I am Obsidious fan, and thanks a lot for watching this video. In fact, thanks a lot for watching all of my videos this year, and trust me, 2014 will be equally awesome for my channel, since I am sure I will play even more games for different systems. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, see you guys next time!